Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. I see a couple of folks in the queue, so I won't mess around too terribly long. Oh, let me get settled in here. How is everybody tonight? I know I saw Nymira for a second. Shade's in the queue, so I'm assuming she's kicking around. Positive impact. I haven't seen as much of you, but welcome back. Welcome back. All right, all right. Ignoring homework. I won't say I'm ignoring homework or housework. I'm ignoring housework, kind of. We got a lot to do to get ready for, Kiddo's birthday party on Saturday. Although, 3/4 of my floor looks a lot better. I'm awake, I swear. Yeah, and no, I'm exhausted. So it's sad because I know tomorrow is my long day. Oh, not tonight. I work tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's my long day, and I don't know how much help I'm going to be before time. Like, I'm sure I'll do the fun crap like build the fire. I'm sure you'll talk me into hauling that table out, but, like, that and the floors need done. The rest of the floors need done. I'll get to it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get our readings out of the way. Shade, I think you're up first, correct? It's funny, I actually have half a topic tonight, which we'll get to if we have time. If not, I'll turn it into a video on YouTube or something. It'll be fine. Okay. So we're gonna set the cards down for a second, because honestly, here's the thing. Shade and Nymira, last I knew, both of you were still under 25, correct? I mean, how many stream wives do you need, Nymira? Like, I'm not the stream wife thing as a whole. Is a whole thing. But I mean, go for it. I mean, go for it. No, to my mind, a harem really just sounds like a lot of work. Do you know how harems in the past, as in one man with many wives, do you know how that shit actually, the only way that this one man could fulfill this whole harem? Lesbians. No, seriously. His wives took care of each other. It's the only way it made it work. Only way. There is some historical precedent for that, although I don't know how widespread it was. But Shade, Shade, that's up to you. Because we even kind of sort of started your reading. You know, I had a few things to say before we drew the cards. We even kind of sort of started your reading. That's entirely up to you. If you wanna if you wanna rotate those around, we can pick your stuff up again in a minute. That's okay. And so in theory, I have time. In theory, of course, I have time for everybody. It's still early, but if y'all are alright with that, I'll spin it around. Alright, positive impact. What are we looking at then? Alright, let's see here. Nightmare, you. So, Nightmare, it's fine. It's fine. So, mm, so, Impact, here's my first question. How how far away are you guys right now? Do you guys live locally to each other? Because this Four of Spades says there's something Erie always throwing eggs in the middle of. Yeah, there's something about, like, that's a problem. I don't know if this is the problem that ended the relationship in the first place, but it is certainly the biggest thing standing between you two now. What's funny here is I don't even feel I have a we couldn't do this right that would make me feel like distance was a factor. Right, you guys couldn't live up to the responsibilities with each other. And the thing about it is that this is not going to get any better. Right, that's not getting better anytime necessarily soon. Correct. This is about value. Right, diamonds say it's about value. What this is it's almost reading, "Hey, how are you? I love seeing new people. How you doing?" Um this is almost a cost benefit analysis. Right. The Five of Diamonds isn't always good. The Five of Diamonds is a responsibility to proving value. Right. It's great when you can do it. But here's the problem. I don't think you could do it. at the time. I think that's just part of why, like, you couldn't give everything you needed to. Um, Seven of Diamonds is the wish card. Right, so the Seven of Diamonds, I think he cares. Right, so here's the thing. The Seven of Diamonds, the wish card, I think he cares. There's a Joker here that talks about there are still things you don't know. Now, I don't think this is another woman or something like that, but are you... So the Jokers for me are something hidden or concealed. Why do you think you're the Joker? Like, like, I'm not going to argue with you if you're drawn to it. I'm just looking for context. So I think that this is... A Seven of Diamonds says they wish they could be with you, right? This is the wish card. Um, then we have this Joker. There are factors in this on their end that you're unaware of. So the King of Diamonds here is, look, you put a lot of stock in this guy. You're going to continue to put a lot of stock in this guy. I think he puts a lot of stock in you, a lot of value in you. I mean, we don't have this Queen of Diamonds. Right. But I think there is a lot of value placed between the two of you. But this is an example of, I get a lot of cards that are very hopeful, but don't do a lot of acting. Right, it's going to take a big change for the two of you to decide again. Will you spark when you see each other? Because I gather you're seeing each other. Right, absolutely there will be a spark. Does that spark lead to rolling around together naked? Very possibly. Is that enough to... Okay. Okay. And is that enough to change anything long term? I don't think so. I think there are things that keep them tied to where they are. And they're very likely things you don't know about. Right, and see, you are probably over there asking how they feel about you, which the Queen of Diamonds would very much tell you, like, there's value here. The only problem is I'm not seeing a card that gets us from I want to be with them to I'm going to do something about it. Does that make sense? The feelings are there. And I'm just not seeing where it's going to roll over into anything that's going to last. So, with that in mind, like, hold on a second, because I'm going to physically pull it out. Three cards down for any numerologist in the group. So let's pull this Queen of Diamonds out. No, yeah, the feelings are still there for her. Or on her part, the feelings are still there. Um, I don't know about they'll always be there, but they are certainly there now. Right, but why is she still where she's at then? Why is she not moving? Like, why is this not being really acted on? See, I don't see this changing. Like, leading into the reunion, I don't see this changing. But I also, like, I see a short-term reunion. Right? I see her coming out, hanging out. You guys have a good time. Maybe it takes a romantic or sexual turn. I mean, I'm okay with that based on these cards. But it just doesn't last. There's something that pulls her back or grounds her back where she is. That's that hidden factor in the Joker. What do you mean, is it you? I don't I don't know. Hold on. I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, okay. In all honesty, what I get from these cards is maybe you do, maybe you don't, it doesn't matter. Right, the first card that we get, the Ace of Spades, is a headstone. If you read cards, you know. Right, we all get a little idiosyncratic, we all read the cards in our own ways. But there's some things that are like the Ace of Spades is interpreted very similarly for all of us. Right, this is an ending. You know, when we ask, do you fall in love with somebody else? I don't think that matters. I think you decide you can't do it. And I think it really comes down to Five of Spades is dropping the ball. Well, does one of my mods mind? I would really love it if the bot would go away. Um, Five of Spades is dropping the ball. And this is right next to this Queen of Hearts, which is obviously her here. Thank you, Rogue. Um, at the end of the day, I think you just can't wait forever. And you know this. Right, you know this. At the end of the day, you can't wait for her to get her house in order enough. See, I don't think it has to be like that. Right? I think that you could even remain friends. You're just not going to wait. It's not about do you fall in love with somebody else. It's when are you open to fall in love with somebody else? When are you putting her in the past? Correct. Right. The cards don't say you fall in love with somebody else. The cards say you put her in the past. That means you can move on, but it doesn't guarantee that you will. And you always will. And this isn't about hurting her. And it's not about thinking any less of her. It's more about realizing that this just won't work. Come down to it, the Beatles were wrong. Love is not all you need. I know people get a little twisted by that, but it's true. At the end of the day, some practical things have to be in place. If she cannot be close enough to you to make a real relationship work, how long will you wait for that? How long can you wait for that? And as much as it hurt. Okay, so impact. Let me deal with that. Shade, are you still here? I'm going to kind of address you. I'm going to kind of address Shade, and I'm going to kind of address somebody else here. Right. Right now, I'm seeing kind of 3, 4 people in chat right now going, "Oh my God, I will never. Do I ever find anybody?" Right. I'm seeing a lot of people with this. Do I ever find anybody? No, no. I don't blame you. Impact, are you also under 25? Okay, so you are a little older, but still prior to your Saturn return. Um, oh, absolutely. Sorry. You focus where you need to focus. Mm. Oh, we'll get tea here in a minute. The long and the short of it is all of you, and Impact a little less, but all of you are relatively young. Frankly, since COVID, everybody has, like, honestly, since COVID, everybody has lost all social skills. And, you know, there's a level of, we are all, every single one of us, we are all relearning how to navigate, and like everything has changed. I don't think when it I don't think when it comes I don't think when it comes down to it that anybody at pretty much any age. Certainly if you're 80, you're not necessarily going to look again. Right, certainly at some point you may make the decision it ain't worth looking for. You know, but at the end of the day I feel like anybody who's looking will find something that's worth it. Because, see, here's the thing. I don't think a relationship has to last the rest of someone's life to be worth having. Every single one of you can look back on a relationship that is over, and not a relationship you're trying to get back, not something you're doing spell work on and being hopeful, but something actively from your past. I think every one of us can look back and go, yes, that ended, and it was absolutely fucking worth it. Absolutely worth it. Right? So why would that not also be true moving forward? Now, I know we all want long-term relationships that might last the rest of our life. I'm down with that. Fair enough, Nymera. Fair enough. In fact, to answer your question, notice the first card that we get, the Ace of Diamonds. The Ace of Diamonds says, relax, right? It's the lowest amount of value you can attach to a card. Like, literally, it's the lowest amount of value you can attach to a card because the diamonds are value. Right. So this is saying, look, get tangled up in it, get all worried about it, and you get in your own way. And this is something that's very common. Right. King of Hearts here. Again, we see the King of Hearts. In this case, in this position, this says, so I want to interpret the King of Hearts as you need to be doing work. You know, this is that classic interpretation of work on yourself. But before we go that way, are you open to dating men as well, or do you only date women? Because if you're open to dating men as well, the interpretation does change. And I think that's a fair thing to look at. Okay, so you may find better, you may actually find these two cards together are funny. Men may do better for you right now. Why? No idea. It just what I see in the cards. However, not from your existing friend group, not from your existing friend group, not from your existing friend group. Right, eight or social networks, eight of spades. That one guy you thought of from your your existing group of friends when we started heading that direction, not him. I think he'll do you dirty. You know who I'm talking about too, and you know he's a little bit of a sleazebag. Like you love him. In a mood. You know he's a little bit of a sleazebag, and you know he's a bad idea for you. Well, and see, that's the thing, is everybody wants to argue nobody works out. This is a really, because we're short on time, I'm going to sum this card up a little differently than I normally would. If you want a partner, you need to treat the search for such as a job. And you need to treat the search for such as a job. In this position down here, as the advice position, it says, look, you have a responsibility to what you want here. Right, treat it like a job. You know, you can't wander around and expect guy or girl to just fall in your lap. Just fall in your lap with their pants off. It's not going to happen. Sorry, I'm now distracted by cheese balls. Sorry, why would you do that to me? Now I want a cheese ball. A whole cheese ball. But yeah, treat it like a job. Because that's the only way you go forward with it. And I think eerie, mind out of the gutter. Especially that gross. I know, right? So I've got to move on and get shades reading in. However, if you do any magical practice, I know you work with cartomancy, so you know meanings of cards enough. If you do any magical practice, work this Queen of Diamonds into your spell work, because it's coming up everywhere. You know what I mean? Alright, let's see here. Let's try this again, Shade. So, part of what I was going to ramble... Erie, flag on the play, buddy. Even on fucking Grindr, you're allowed to have goddamn standards. I'm just saying. If it's cheesy, turn around and walk away. Leave him standing there holding his junk. If it's cheesy, walk away, Erie. Walk away. You are not that hard up, I promise you. You will not die without dick. But the cheesy dick might kill you. Just saying. Never you mind that. Erie, you damn well know, though. Like, seriously. At the very least, Erie, promise you make them Grindr dudes wrap it up. Exactly. 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 Impact, short and sweet. Something will draw them back to other things, so they can't stick around. Hey, Gabriella, how are you? Alright, so Shade, you got a little bit of my call out, right? Like, you got... Hey! Thank you, Gabriella. Well, not even that you're young. I mean, so with Impact, I kind of went into what we were talking about. Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it anyway, even if you put it in a wrong place. There ain't no wrong place for that. So, Shade, here's the thing. You're still young enough, and this would go for Nymera as well. Like, you guys looking around going, will I ever find love? You've got, honestly, at your age, you're just getting over the stupid choices. Right? You know, to a certain extent, both of you. You know, all of you. I think I'm speaking to a lot more people than I think I am here. You're just hitting that age where you're getting over the stupid choices. You're wanting more. And the problem is, like, you grew up statistically about halfway before approximately half of your people. No, I get it. And sometimes, Nymera, to be fair, like, because you're actively like, you're hearing more of it than most. Right, you're hearing me kind of have to say this repeatedly. Right. So I don't know that I necessarily believe in one person for anybody, but I think that all of you have time to find a person that you'll click with, your person, so to speak. Probably even a couple of times in your life if it comes to it. But y'all have time to find that stuff. Right? None of y'all has a terminal disease. None of y'all are like, this will happen. This will happen, and I know that this will happen because they talk about it everywhere. You know, women are lonely, men are lonely, and, admittedly, like, not all women are looking for men or whatever, like, fine. But the thing is, people as a whole are lonely, and it is literally just running into people, other lonely ass people, which means that, some of them are going to think with their bits. Some of them are going to be, some of them are going to be assholes. But you're just going to keep mashing people together till something works. I watched this stupid Jewish dating show on Netflix. It's actually not bad. But I kept wondering if her whole thing wasn't just mashing Jewish people together till something clicked. Like, she had so many failures. As a matchmaker, she put two people together, it wouldn't click. Put this woman and someone else together, it wouldn't click. I'm like, this is what a professional is getting. You know, it took her 3 times to get somebody with somebody halfway decent. And everybody I'm talking to is looking for men, and y'all are right. As a group, men suck. if if men really sucked, they'd thank you a lot more when you did. Mm. I'm sorry, I thought that was good. And Nymira, only sometimes. Only sometimes. And I actually kind of agree with Starry. With enough money, you can buy a device that replaces a man. Just saying. They ain't even that expensive. With enough money, you can drive to Nevada and rent the man. Just saying. How do you figure so story okay. Okay, this is going several different directions now. So, Shade, directly to answer your question from the cards, what are you doing? And I think this is true. I think this is true in modern dating. What are you doing to be right for the right kind of man? Women, by and large, are spoiled for choice. But most of the people presenting themselves to you are mostly sleazeballs. And the men especially that are halfway decent aren't putting themselves out there right now. So, men suck. It's not that all men suck, it's that the men that don't suck aren't bothering. So, in a very real way, you have to draw an attention. You have to draw attention. That's fine. That's fine because we start with the Queen of Spades, right? Six of Diamonds. Six of Diamonds, Eight of Clubs. Here's this work. And we end with the Queen of Diamonds. We end with value. Now, Shade, I'm actually going to give you the same thing that I give a lot of people. So first of all, I have a tiny little circle on my Discord to judge your physical appearance by. I don't have much. I don't see much. I have one view. I believe yours is like a side view. Assuming that's even you. But nothing in that stands out as ugly. Like, honestly, nothing in that stands out as ugly. But also, at the end of the day, that crap ain't gonna matter. At the end of the day, you will end up with somebody who doesn't care one way or the other. And what I'll say is this. Women, all of y'all women are harder on your appearance than we are. All of you think you're uglier than you are. Every last one of you. You think you're uglier than you are. Period. Every last one of you. And don't get me wrong, I notice it more in women and myself. Right, when I have clear, logical thought about my appearance, I can realize I give myself a harder time than I probably need to. Doesn't mean I stop doing it. I get that. But I want you, Shade, to keep that in mind. That women are harder on themselves about their appearance than anybody else is. But Rogue, would you, as a female, would you agree with this? Women are harder on themselves about their appearance than anybody else is. With the exception of that one girl and sometimes your mother. And your mother's not that hard, she just knows where to hit. I didn't mean your mother specifically, Rogue, although I was thinking of her when I said it. She's not that hard, but she knows where to hit, and it tears you up. Right. And the thing is, then you ladies cycle over it. All right. Give me a moment. I think a reset's in order. Mm-hmm. I think a reset's in order. It's not even that it's bad energy. I think we're getting to a lot of important places, but I gotta get myself collected. I will be right back, folks. Um, let's see. I believe Nymira. Give me a second to get centered. You'll get a way better reading. You'll get a way better reading if I go get centered first. There? I'm not planning on lecturing you. Yours is different. I ain't like I'll come with jokes. All right. Absolutely. Absolutely, Shade. I'll be right back. and that's the crux of it for all of y'all. Um, Sometimes when things aren't going right, we think to ourselves, "Oh, the universe is a cruel place," and I don't believe that. Like, I think this is a thing. So Erie, I think this is a philosophy that I kind of pulled from Hoodoo. Right. Um, a human being's natural state is abundance. And anything that doesn't come in abundance and run smoothly is an indication of something like crossed conditions, not a natural state of the world. So bringing yourself into, like, finding anything, be it love, be it money, be it health, is simply a matter of removing things that block that from you because the universe is trying to give it to you. That's the thing. The universe is trying to give it to you, whatever the heck it is. Also, Nymera, I would be all about that. We can hang out on my front porch. We can hang out on my front porch, drink coffee, and occasionally I'll get up, let the bathrobe flop free, and yell, "Get off my fucking lawn." At the birds, mind you, at the birds, because the kids know better. Correct, especially the one. So, Nymera, am I throwing cards for you too, or you just come for the jokes? Nah, I don't think so. I think I kind of know where this is going, and you're not going to get a whole lecture. So, unless I miss my guess, though, Nymera, you've already started spell work in other directions, correct? I probably should have hit a card on the table, but and looked impressive rather than pretty much admit that was a cold read. I saw that on Discord somewhere or something. But did you hit spell work in other directions at this point? Okay. Okay. Good. 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 So let's throw cards. Let's throw cards. It's officially a stream. Where's Jess when you need her? Which reminds me, I haven't seen her in a minute. So we're gonna start with that card. Mm-hmm. So our first three cards together, lowest amount of value, eight of spades, friendships or trouble, and then two of spades is effectively the romance card. So our first three cards here still tell us what we already knew about him. He doesn't give a fuck about relationships. He still thinks he's too busy. I do think these cards hint that he thinks he's too busy for a relationship. He probably is a little frustrated because Not, I don't think, in a bad way. In a way no different than you, really. In a way no different than you, really. He's not particularly interested in being just friends with you. He sees a romantic potential there. The difference is he's so busy he's not looking at that. So you get this, you give him these texts, you give him some of this friendship stuff, and that'll drive him nuts because he's not looking for that. If he's going to do anything with you, this is relationship shaped. But he's not trying to do a relationship right now. Right, and you and I both know that's because of how busy he is. I don't think it has anything to do with you. In fact, this would say it does not. Right, he's absolutely but kind of as we talked about, Jack of Hearts, like his status as a student takes precedence right now. And you're not seeing him cut off. You're not seeing him cut you off because in the back of his mind, he's trying to keep this open for later. Right. In the back of his mind, it's like, when I'm ready. And the problem is, I don't want you waiting on him. You don't want to wait on him. Nobody should wait around for that shit. When he's done with school, when it's ready, if you're single, he can look you up. If it's meant to be, y'all will run into each other and you won't have to worry about it. When everybody gets out of their own goddamn way, the universe gives us what we need. Maybe it's this guy, maybe it's, a jacked man with a beard and plaid. I don't know what the universe wants to give you exactly. But I know that this man is too busy for you to wait around on him. Like, the universe very well could want to give you that, and you're so busy waiting on this man that it can't. Right. And I know, I chose jacked man in plaid with a long beard because you're always talking about your mountain men. I chose that deliberately for you. And if this man is meant to be when he's less fucking busy, he'll look you up. You'll run into each other fucking accidentally. Like, I don't know how. He'll end up a client of mine talking about the one that got away. I don't know how it'll happen. But the universe will give them to you when it's time, if that's what you're supposed to have. But sitting around here waiting at this point ain't doing you a damn bit of good. Certainly, plant your seeds. Certainly, tell them you're interested. Frankly, I would tell them, look, I know you're real busy and you're not looking for a relationship. When you're less busy, the way I would phrase it is, when you're less busy, I hope I'm still single. Give me a call. That's how I would phrase that, and then I'd let him be. I would say it because then he knows the offer is, in theory, on the table when he's less busy. Send that risky text. Send that risky text, see what you can get, and then stop worrying about it. He'll either give you what you want now, again, in a way that I think comes down to what his purpose is. A little worried about kind of the new things you may be looking for. Right. And he's right. The dating pool is crap. Like Jack of Spades, yeah, he's right. The dating pool is crap, and you're likely to find a sleazeball or two. Right, you were past that with this guy. He's not a sleazeball. And Rogue, I can agree. So I agree with that, and it's crap that the average client has heard 1,000 times. They know this. They know this. We're still looking because we're looking for more. Right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just shit that my clients know already. Yeah, Nymira, what's it hurt you to send a risky text first? That's fine. I'll be open first half of the day. I always take kiddo home in the evening. But I'm open first half of the day. And I will double check my schedule to make sure I pulled work off of it. The fact of the matter is, even if it's planting a seed for later, when you're less fucking busy, and you can give him some fucking attitude here. When you're less fucking busy, I hope I'm still single. You can give me a call. You know, give him a little fucking attitude there, because obviously he has priorities, and obviously you or any other woman, to be fair to him, are not high on that list. When it is, when you can be a high priority, he can call you. Until then, the fuck you waiting on him for? Mountain Man's waiting there. Mountain Man's waiting around the corner, bored, chopping fucking logs in half because he ain't got nothing else to do. You know, that's enough arm day. He needs cardio. I mean, what? I knew I'd get somebody with that. And are there not times in this experience he's been rude to you? Like, is it rude or is it realistic? Because how long are you going to wait in the corner for this man while you could be helping Mountain Man with his cardio? And you know what? If you only help Mountain Man with his cardio for a couple of weeks, dude comes back and says, you know what? I was right. My priorities weren't in the right place. I have some time now. You want to get coffee? And if you want to stop helping Mountain Man with his cardio to go get coffee with this man at that point, you can. Because you don't have to make a permanent decision. You plant a seed that'll get him to call you later if the situation is right, and then you can decide then what the hell you want to do. If you're happy with your mountain man, stay with the mountain man. If at that point you're like, I want to go to coffee with this guy, go to coffee with this guy. No decisions have to be made. No decisions at this point in your dating life have to be made permanently. Nobody's waving a ring. So you always have an opportunity to wake up the next day and go, you know what, I want to do something a little different. Always. Right now you have that opportunity every day. Oh, that's certainly not true. I know better than that. You know, even Rogue, who only heard it third party, even Rogue would say, no, he was obviously into you. And, Nymira, honestly, so what if you weren't? By putting it out there, then you know. Now, I think Shade is exactly correct. Right now you are gaslighting yourself, but worst that happens is you find out. I don't know, do we even have a whole heck of a lot of queue left? Let me see, I know Erie was in, but I'm not sure I had a whole heck of a lot. Ah! Gabriella so rarely gets, actually will get readings, which is fine. Some people come to hang out, I don't mind. But I wasn't expecting it. Alright, well, let's stay a little focused then. Erie, what you got for me, man? Also, it is probably that time. Alright, Erie, you're up. Correct. Rogue, correct. Cookies. Ugh. Stupid alarms. Anyway, what are we looking at for you, Erie? There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Two fives. So, two fives looking at the first of this. So, I already knew that even if I don't have. So, even if I don't have the whole list, right, and I don't have a list, I do know that you have some pre existing things going on, right, and I don't need the whole list. Um, the two fives here talk about, like, your doctors have talked about some things with you. You have follow ups you should be doing that you kind of aren't doing. Um, so, keeping actively in touch with your professionals is a really good start. Now, interestingly enough, the fives also, especially the red fives, can be an indication of heat. So, if part of it is you would like to pull some weight off, you might try heat based things like saunas, hot yoga. Obviously, following up with your doctor is part of that. Doc, what do you think if I started this? Right. Um, there's a six here, which is, six of hearts, which is roads. Right. I do notice a theme here. The things that require responsibility are in the suit of hearts. Is that spirit leading me towards, look, pay some attention to your heart? It could be. Right. Do you know what your heart function looks like right now? Mm, I wanna lean away from that a little bit, and I'll ask the question: do we know what our heart function looks right now? And if not, can we have a test done? Can you even if you just go check blood pressure? Right. I think that's important. Now, I think the same things are probably very true in a psychological sense. Things that ultimately strengthen the physical heart also strengthen the spirit, right? The emotional heart, you know, there is something incredibly cleansing about something like esteem, right? The walk is a okay. Anybody in medicine? How is that as a range? Because I'm not in medicine, and that's numbers to me. But anything that would strengthen the physical heart, also, like, you know, saunas, in various cultures, that kind of dry heat thing is used as cleansing everywhere. Right. Um, the walk is a whole. The walk is a whole spiritual, like, event for me. And they can be um, quite, again, it strengthens, it empowers. Okay, but a bit high doesn't necessarily bother me. I think there is a woman, probably on a professional level, like, do you have a female, like, primary care physician? Do you have a PCP? I guess that's the first question. Do you have, like, a regular doctor? Not a specialist, not a nephrologist. Okay. Is this by any chance a woman? I know I would probably tend to prefer, okay, I would probably tend to prefer a guy myself, but like I think a lot of women would prefer a woman, a lot of guys would prefer a guy. Right. Shrug. And I'm not super attached. I don't care that much. Mm. So here's the deal. I think if you're worried about it, purely like getting the physical components in shape will make you feel like you are more in control of that, and that will help your psychology. Does it fix everything? Absolutely the heck not. But purely getting those things under your control, moving in a direction you want them to move. I don't even care about how much success you're making as long as it's going in the right direction for you. Those are things that empower you and strengthen the spirit, because I think when you say it's mostly psychological, I think this is ultimately what it comes down to, is this is about strengthening the spirit, as they would say. Right, there's nothing necessarily wrong. Just need a little more something. So, making sure you're healthy enough for it. Steams, pay particular attention to cleansing rituals right now, magically speaking. Start up walks, things like that. All of these things will strengthen the spirit. Alright, so I got one more, and I do have to think about bed. I have been doing all sorts of extra cleaning for kiddo's birthday, and to be pretty blunt about it, I'm fairly tired. I got time for one more. No problems, Gabriella, but I want to make sure I'm in bed on time. Also, Gabriella, while I got you, yes, your changes to the order of things look great. Feel free to put them in place. I don't stand on ceremony. Try it out. If I hate it, I'll let you know. I don't stand on ceremony around here. You mess with it. I have no problems with that. I'm very busy. I don't know. I ain't got time to stand on ceremony. You know what I mean? Boxing with yourself. I like that. So, the first card that we get here, the Three of Diamonds, this is about, like, so on the surface of the card, it's about growing value. Right. We pair it with the Ace of Hearts, that's knowing what you truly want, what is at the core important. Right. And a Nine of Spades, not letting it get cluttered up. At the end of the day, you fight with yourself, you box with yourself, as you say. You're well read enough to get this. You box with yourself, as you say, because you are letting wants and desires come in between you and your true will. Right, to a certain extent, this is about distraction. What is truly important, you won't fight with yourself about. You're fighting with yourself because what's truly important and what you want for right now are getting in the way of each other. And I think at the end of the day here, this is the first three cards here are like, look, go back to basics. Identify what you want, what your will is. Execute that and not the rest of it. Eight of clubs, six of hearts, kind of, to drill down into that. Like, you could very much be helped. And, King of Hearts here says, there calls out a person in specific here, a male, and potentially someone you were very emotionally close to, or a current or potential future love interest. Either someone you were close to in the past, or someone you'd like to get real close with. Whoever this is, if you can figure out who this is, this is somebody who will help you break down. Like, you can talk to them about, I'm trying to sort this, and they will help you pick apart, is this a true will? Is this a desire? Right? They will help you organize it. At the end of the day, it's your work, but there is nothing wrong with finding a sounding board. There is nothing wrong with taking somebody that knows you really well and bouncing some things off of them so that you can hear what it sounds like when someone else says your words back to you. Now, I was very weirdly led to that phrasing. You can hear what it sounds like when someone else bounces your words back to you. So I think that may be the key to identifying who this is. Like, kick that phrase or thought around for a while. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Which is another weird way of going back to basics. Right. If you know who this is, give them a call. If you know who this is, give them a call. And I would even say, I don't care whether you're calling them on the phone. Uh-huh. Sending an email, it don't matter. Because you know they'll be there for you. That was really clear. Like, on my end, that felt really clear. So hopefully some of that helped for you. Because something locked in there and said, give her this. In a way that I get sometimes, but I don't get all the time. So that's I think what I have for you, and anything I might try to add would just clutter it up. Fair enough? Of course. All right, folks. Well, I think I'm off to bed. So, two things. Actually, Rogue, the question I was going to answer, I know tonight's answer, so I got that. So that leaves us one thing. Saturday, Saturday's kiddo's birthday party. I'm likely to run late if I stream at all. If I don't stream on Saturday, I can try and fit a stream in on Sunday night. It may not be particularly long, but I'll try and fit something in. All right, folks. Well, I suppose I got to run off to bed. All right, everybody have a good night.